Hello and welcome to One Called Mama. I am your host, Sam, and I'm so thankful and excited that you joined me today because I have a very special guest, Katie Graham, here with me. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
How are you?
I am so good and so honored to be here. I cannot wait for this conversation.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited. I feel like we're very kindred spirits, and I felt that right off the bat when I read all about you on your website and just talking with you when we had our first meeting. I was like, oh my gosh, this is someone very much in alignment with my heart, and I knew you had to be on the show. So I'm really excited that you're here.
Thank you. Honored.
Before we jump in, please share some things about yourself before we get going on our topic for today.
Okay. So hi, everyone. I am Katie Graham. I'm a mom of two. My daughter is Emma, who is 9, and my son Mac is 10, almost 11. He will tell you that. And I have just really loved I used to teach first grade. So I came from a teacher space and then I grew into the mom role. And it's just been a beautiful journey. And I just love being able to pour into moms and just really just pour life into us. I feel like sometimes I even pour life back into myself, but just coming together and really just we're in this together. We're learning together. And I have a wonderful husband too, David. Don't let me forget him. He's like my other half. And we've been married for 16 years this summer. So I live in Texas and just love the summer, love the sunshine and all the swimming and all of that. So yeah, here I am.
So I saw a post about you on Facebook, funnily enough, someone that I have had on the show. Allison and Cheryl, I think you know them, and I saw what they posted about you. And so what really drew me in was how you have such a heart for moms. And I would like to take something that you wrote from that I sent you, the little questionnaire that I sent you.
Absolutely.
You said, no one in my family is an entrepreneur. I had always put myself in a teaching mom and wife box. The last 4 years, I've learned that I was never made to be in a box. I've learned to be comfortable putting myself out there, allowing myself to be seen, starting small, failing forward, and not always getting things right.
Yes.
Wow. So
easier said than done. No,
easier said than done. I would love to just start talking about, as a mom, stepping into a calling that God has placed on your heart. For the moms that are listening, that is such a scary time. It is such an unknown season. There's a lot of emotions that are running high. There's doubt and insecurity. There's also excitement and anticipation. And then for a lot of moms, maybe not all of them, there's also the guilt of, am I really supposed to be doing this? Is this really what God called me to? If I'm taking so much time away from my family and my kids and my husband, and I feel bad about that. And there's just so much that really happens in a mom brain when they decide to step into a calling. So I would really love for you to share some of those things that you, how that looked for you, and then let's talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. So I was teaching first grade. I loved it. I've always loved children. And then I became a mom. And after Mac, I was great. Recovery was great. Like emotionally, all of that was wonderful. And then 18 months later, I had Emma. And it was not great. And I think it was just the transition from 1 to 2. It was a lot. And then I'm teaching first grade. So I'm teaching 6-year-olds all day. I'm not pouring into myself. By the time I get home, I'm totally empty and I wasn't eating right. I was survival mode, like on steroids. And I stumbled into a health and wellness network, like direct sales company. And that kind of started the whole shift to maybe I'm supposed to do something else outside of teaching. And that was actually that the health and wellness was, I was eating better. I was eating intentionally. And I was actually moving my body.
Mhm.
And that was the first time I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm okay. I'm taking care of myself. And that's not to say like I struggled a lot with postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, and that helped me. Now, I want to just say if you need to get help, other than that, please go get help. There are so many wonderful resources and programs and support systems that you can pour into. So I want to say that. But for me, that just that little bit of pouring into myself and really, oh my gosh, I'm not going through Sonic and getting like cheeseburgers all the time. So that kind of started to shift this thing. And so I was losing weight. People were noticing. I was actually like happy. I was starting to have more energy. I had a pep in my step, and it was like this breath of life came back to me. And so people were like, oh my gosh, I want to do what you do. And so that I started a little group and we did it together. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And that opened my eyes to mindset work and emotional intelligence and learning about all of those kinds of aspects of health and wellness. And I was like, oh, I love this. And it's funny because I actually thought I wanted to do psychology counseling when I was young, like young before teaching. And I chose the teaching route, but now I'm like, maybe the Lord is anyway leading me to this as well. And so within that, though, that's kind of how I got into what I do now with mindset and kind of life coaching, vision, a lot of those things. But I will say, once I started working out, the thing that I think having a daughter changes a lot. And there's so much noise around growing up as women and growing up as little girls. And I get emotional every time I talk about it, but I didn't want her to have that.
Yeah.
I wanted to change that. I wanted to pour life into her for her to have a different perspective on that. So for me, like bringing my family along on my journey started there. And we talked about food and how food is fuel. And it's not, I'm not going to eat this so I can look a certain way. It's, I want to feel a certain way. So like and every food group has purpose. So teaching my daughter all of those things, teaching my kids all of the ways to talk about food, they were on my journey with me. All those, I mean, that journey started like 7 or 8 years ago. And so they've been on that journey with me. And so as I've shifted and the Lord's provided different opportunities for me, and like as I start taking action and I grow, he leads me in different paths. They've just been on the ride, like they're just on the ride with mom. And so but it started with that. I want to teach them a different way. And I want to teach them what I'm learning now so that at 2 and 3 or at 5 and 7, like they're learning different paths that I'm learning now, but they're learning them so much sooner so that they can take them, run with them, and just keep growing.
So I love that your response was to bring your kids along with you, because I think a lot of times, at least in my life, me and my husband, we started this strange rhythm where we felt like we had to segregate all of these different parts of our life. You know, this is what the kids do. This is what we do. We do this after the kids go to bed. You know, if mommy goes and does this, y'all stay home. And, you know, a lot of that comes out of necessity, but also too, it's like, well, how can I involve them? And this is a very recent thing for me. And I wish I had figured it out as quickly as you did. Was like, how can I involve them in this? Like, how can I make this part of what they learn about and how they study it? And what can they gain from it? And I really love that from the get-go you really brought your kids along that journey with you, because they are watching and they do see and they're like, well, what is mommy doing? I want to do what mommy does, because they want to do everything we do. And
Yes.
it's so important to make them feel like they can be part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even just like with setting goals or vision, that's really where I also kind of taught them too. And it's like they know my goals and they're like, and if you want accountability, get your kids involved. They're like, did you work out today? What do you like? Did you have protein today? Oh my gosh, mom, how's your water? You know, like they come alongside you, and it almost gives them ownership also and makes them feel a part instead of, it's another way you can connect with them. And I'm all about connection. And so just having that deeper connection with them too. And then whenever you do make a goal or you do have it, like I had an event and I had a vision workshop and they came and they helped me set up and my son helped record and like they were cheering you on. Like if you need cheerleaders in your life, just tell your kids your goals and then they will clap the loudest for you. And it's just so cute and they love it. They love it. So it's been really fun to kind of watch that aspect that I didn't plan on, but it's been a really fun piece of the puzzle.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
So you were doing the health and fitness thing, you were figuring out that this is something you really love, and then the
Yeah.
mindset shift and all of these things. So how did this turn into what you're kind of doing now? So how did you, when you kind of felt like God was taking you in this certain direction, how did you respond to that?
Um, I wish I could say I loved every minute of it and I just went for it, but there are days, and I just want to say this, like it reminds me of this scripture in Habakkuk, and our pastor just preached about this again on Saturday, and I was like, I just apparently needed to hear it again. But it's just that scripture of don't I'm gonna paraphrase this, but like don't get so hung up on small beginnings because the Lord rejoices in the work beginning. And it's that it's okay to start small. I feel like as we start to like start something, we want this to be this big thing, and it starts small. So those steps for me to like make this shift, it was like the more I learned, I think the more I was like, health and fitness is great, but if you want to stick with it, you have to change your mind. You have to change how you view yourself. You have to like that renewing of your mind has to play a part, or you're gonna go back to how like your old habits because that's how you have identified. And so once I started that and realization, I was like, I want actual true life change, and the actions will follow, but I want to get to the root of it. I want to change, I want to help change people's lives with their mindset shifts, and then the actions they'll follow, because once you decide, like once you fully step into who the Lord's calling you to be and growing into that, um that's when you start doing things differently, and you start showing up differently. And so it's not huge steps, it's just little things, little steps at a time, and you eventually look back and you're like, wow, Lord, like you're leading me here, and I was not expecting that. Like if you asked me 5 years ago, I would have been like, there is no way, like I will be in a classroom, it's going to be great. And the classroom has just changed. I'm still teaching, it's just in a very different capacity. And so I think the more you get still and you listen to those heart tugs. We all know there's something inside us, but for me, I shoved it down so far. It took a little bit to kind of get it back out.
Mhm.
And so I just want to encourage you, get still and just ask and listen what things light you up, and start just, could I do that a little bit more? I love pouring life into people. Okay, so that's cool. How can I do that a little bit more? And then you just take a little bit of, a little step, a little faith step here and a little faith step there, and you start to make that progress. You start to shift. Oh my gosh. I've been this way all along. I poured life into my students forever, and now I get to pour life into their parents. How cool is that? So like you just get still and listen, and then you just start making those faith steps as you, okay, this, I really feel like this is how the Lord designed me to make impact.
Yeah.
Just so, and he'll provide different opportunities as you take those faith steps.
Yeah.
But you won't always feel it. There are still days where I'm like, is this really, Lord, are you sure? Like, are you sure you have the right person? Because I'm like, we still have those days where we're questioning, but then that's where the faith comes in, and that's where you just, okay, but I know in my heart, like this is it, like this is what I'm supposed to do. And just allow yourself to have those days. It makes you human. And just know that regardless of where you are on your journey walking into that vision, those days will never go away, but that's where our faith grows. And that's where we stay humble and we're like, okay, Lord, this has to be you because it's not me. And we have those moments. And so I just want to encourage you too, is like, as you take those steps, you will have those days of doubt, but just that's when the faith needs to kick in.
Oh man. So much truth in what you just shared. I a lot of the times have to remind myself that God's vision of success and my vision of success and the world's vision of success are completely different things. And
Yeah.
so he's called us to something, and a lot of times it's more than one thing. We have like
Yeah.
this thing, this big purpose, this like overarching purpose, and then we have everyday purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And every day we get to wake up and we get to find out what those are, and hopefully we do them in love and with the fruits of the spirit, and sometimes it happens
Yes.
and a lot of times it doesn't.
Yes.
But what I have to remind myself is that God considers successful when I am walking in obedience with him.
Yes.
And scripture says that he goes back for the one and leaves the 99. And we have to ask ourselves, who is the one? Who is the
Yeah.
one person that I'm supposed to reach today? Is that one person, are those my kids? Is that my
Yeah.
husband? And then sometimes that one person is maybe someone you meet at the store, or it's
Absolutely.
it's that step of faith, like you said. I'm going to step forward in faith in this calling that God has called me to, because I know there's one person out there who needs to hear what I have to share.
Yeah.
And that's the beginnings is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking from experience, that small beginning, because we want it to be big, we want it to be grandiose, we want people to see what we're doing, we want to be considered successful, and yet we really don't know what God's plan is for what we're called to do.
Yeah.
We have to be okay first in giving him our yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to be okay with whatever he says it needs to look like.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is very hard.
Yes.
Some days you can swallow that pill a lot better than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found that it is a total surrender. You
Yeah.
have to let go of any preconceived ideas. You can dream, you can hope, you can vision, and you can pray about it. But ultimately, we need to be okay with whatever God says it's going to look like and be
Absolutely.
happy with that.
Yeah.
So, what were some of your biggest challenges as you stepped into your calling, which we haven't talked about yet? We know this, guys. We're saving it for the end. So, like, if you're sitting there wondering, well, what is her calling?
Yes.
It's okay. We'll get to it. We're just kind of, we're having fun right now. We're just getting to know
Yes.
Katie. So, what were some of the challenges that you faced as you stepped into this calling, as you took these bold steps? What were some of those things that you struggled with?
I think a lot of the struggle was I felt for a long time like I was the black sheep of my family. I feel like I've always been louder. I've always like been like a more visionary. I just want to do things differently. And my family's phenomenal. But I just always felt like I never really like I'm the only one that's gonna do this. And as the more I talk with other like entrepreneurs or other women who are chasing impact for the kingdom visions, they're like, I felt that way too. And so I was the only one. So it's like I didn't like teaching. I have aunts that were teachers. I had great teachers to look up to. And yes, like there's a lot of amazing Christian women, authors and speakers that I could look up to, but none that I have like a relationship with, like that I can call on the phone and be like, hey, I'm just starting out. What's your pointers? And so I think it was just because it was so different. And I was like, okay, like I'm also going to have to shift my identity. And that took a very long time. And it's like a daily thing. And it's always expanding and growing as the Lord grows you. And I think for a long time, I was stuck in this identity of I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I teach first grade. I'm just a first grade teacher. And I have since, thank the Lord, have dropped that I'm just a first grade teacher. But that took a lot of like awareness even to know that, girl, you need to expand. Like the Lord is growing you, which means you're also an author. You're also a energy and connection coach for moms, and you're also whatever he has for me next. Like it's always going to change. And I think it also comes with your heart being open to that. because I had put myself in this box for so long of no, I had this vision. Like I was also the kid that dressed up for Halloween in my mom's clothes because that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, was a mom. And then I also was the kid that came home from kindergarten and would line up my stuffed animals and teach school. And so like I had this vision of I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, and that's it. And so when like the Lord started like tugging on my heart to do other things, it was like I have dreamed of what I'm doing right now forever. Like how do I expand that? And so it's again, it's that openness. It's that, okay, Lord, this is uncomfortable. And getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so anytime he's getting ready to expand you, you're going to have this uneasy feeling. And you're like, I don't know if I'm ready. And he's like, well, you're not, but we're going to do this anyway. Like we're going to step into it. And as you take that action, you gain the experience and you gain the readiness. And so again, it was that shift of the identity of I put myself in this box. There's no box anymore. Like we have like recycled that thing. It is out by the curb. And we're just going to keep this open heart to whatever the Lord has for me. I mean, I'm only 40. So like there's still lots of years left. Like who knows what else he has in store for me. And so I think that's also, it can be exciting too. Like it's uncomfortable and you're nervous and you're like, oh my gosh, like I kind of want to throw up, but I also want to like run around and dance because I'm also excited. But it's like, okay, here we go. And so it's just that openness, and the identity shift was a lot for me.
So I really, again, what you're saying is resonating so much within my own being. And I hope that people listening that I have are feeling the same, like they're being seen and they're feeling heard is what
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Because I don't know for you, you can tell me if you went through this, but in the identity thing,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was more of the people that know me most are
Mm-hmm.
going to, my fear was they're going to say, well, that's not true, like you're living a lie, like you're
Yeah.
not really this person that you're putting out there.
Yeah.
And I have struggled with that sort of identity crisis of who does God say I am? Who
Mm-hmm.
am I, like in Christ, and who has he changed me to be?
Yeah.
And what is actually what my family and friends, what do they actually think of me? Like what is reality versus what do I hear myself or the enemy telling me? And there was in the very beginning after I had just started this podcast was there was a time where I was saying, well, God told me to do this. God,
Mm-hmm.
this is God saying it's not mine. And I felt him tell me, you need to take ownership of this.
Yeah.
I told you to do this and this is yours. And I realized that what I was doing was I was not claiming ownership of it so that if it didn't work,
It was.
if it failed,
Uh-huh.
it was God's fault, not mine.
Yeah.
And that was a big eye opener for me that I realized, okay, God, I need to take ownership of what you have called me to do because it's just as much mine as it is yours. You're
Yeah.
in control,
Yeah.
but this is a partnership, and
Right.
I need to take ownership of it and not be running away in fear and trying
Yeah.
to somehow make it look like he could be the one that failed and not me.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. And even as I started my podcast this past year, and it was like, I guess I'm a podcast host too. Like, it was like, I guess, okay, Lord, like, what other identity do you want me to do? Like, and it was just like, I guess, okay. And it's been funny because I do have those thoughts. And then I ask some of my friends, and they're like, why didn't you do it sooner? Like,
Mm-hmm.
of course you have this, or like, of course this is you. And I think one of the things that I've really, really worked on is showing up authentically.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you start stepping into more of who you are, how God created you to be, that gives permission for everyone else who comes into contact with you to also step more into who God's called them to be. And then I've also met people that they're one way in a certain room or like online, and they're another way off. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, because then you break the connection, you break the trust, you break the impact. And so I was like, okay, Lord, like if you're really calling me to this, you need to help me have some courage to show up and like how you've created me to be so that I can have that connection. And when I meet people in person, they're like, she's the same, like this is her. And so like I think it's also that courage piece of okay, it's very vulnerable. But I feel like when we're vulnerable is when we can have deep connection, and deep connection will give you the impact that God's created you to give in this world. So,
Absolutely. People need to see our weakest moments.
yes.
And scripture was not wrong that in our weakness, God is, how does it go? I always get that scripture wrong.
His now that like I'm thinking, it's like in our weakness, he is strong.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
it's like his strength is perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfected or something like that. Y'all
Yeah.
forgive me, but
Yeah.
that is so very true. In that people see our weakness and then the glory goes to God because
Yeah.
that that is where we connect. Like you said, that is where people need to see that we are the same. That we all
Yeah.
struggle with something on our own. It can be the same or it can be something completely different. But
Yeah.
the reality is when we are willing to be raw and honest,
Mm-hmm.
then that's when true change can happen because that's
Yeah.
when it's happened for me. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you've had,
Same.
very similar experiences.
Yes. Yes.
So, what has been one of your greatest joys as you've stepped into your role? What has really just brought you so much joy?
Honestly, I think well, there's two things. One, how alive I feel, how
Mhm.
much energy, like I'm like, oh my, like I love life. When I fully step into who God's created me to be, wherever that is, like it could be at the water park, it could be at the dinner table, or it could be on a podcast. Like wherever I am, just fully stepping into that has brought me so much joy. And then the second is how much closer I I get teary. How much closer it has brought my family and I, like even my husband, like we talk business. Like I'm like, hey, is this a good business idea or like decision? Like help me out here, like give me some wisdom. So it's brought us closer in our marriage, but even my kids, they get so excited. I know we talked a little bit earlier, but like even they're like, how many journals did you sell? What's your number? Like, okay, let's go sell it. Like, oh my gosh, you got another member today, mom. Like, let's go celebrate. And so like just seeing the joy and knowing that I'm teaching them how to follow the Lord's calling on their life. Not by like you should follow that, but like watch me. Come along for the journey. I think I didn't anticipate how much that would fulfill my mom's heart, but that's the greatest thing we can give our kids. It's the ultimate thing we can give our kids. How do you follow the Lord? You do. And you watch mom and you watch dad and you watch us together. And I think that has been the greatest joy, stepping into this. Even on like the hard days or the days where I'm doubting, like, okay, are you sure you have the right person, Lord? Do you know me? He does. And he has called the right person. And I think it's that humble moments where we go to him and we rely on him to carry us through, to bring the right people. Um, and so just, and even sharing that with the kids, hey, mommy's doubting a lot today. This is what it looks like. And really talk, I mean, my kids are 9 and 10 now, but even talking to them in language that they can understand. Um, you're gonna and being real with them, like, oh my gosh, like mommy's starting soup, like I'm starting at zero because they look at on things online and they anyway, just bringing them along and just helping them see the process and seeing how it grows you as a person too, um, has been really, really amazing and fulfilling.
Mm, that's so good. So, now on the flip side of that, what has been one of the hardest things as you've stepped into this calling that you have? What has been some of the hardest things that you've gone through?
I think belief in having confidence that you're hearing the Lord and trusting yourself, because there are challenges, and the challenges, I was studying the life of David. I'm reading the Bible through the whole Bible in a year on the Bible app, And so like all the Old Testament, like all the kings, and we're reading Esther, and we're reading, like, we read all these characters and we forget we're reading little bits of chapters, and the chapters could be 10 years in between chapter 27 and 28, and so even the life of Joseph, and like, holy cow, if that had been me, I would have been like, what? So I think like just trusting the process and trusting that I'm hearing the Lord correctly, um, because it's not going to be a straight path. The challenges come to grow you into more of who you need to be. And it develops endurance, it develops consistency, it develops discipline, it develops all these great things, but we want to skip the process.
Yeah.
And so I think really believing, oh, this is part of the process. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, it's going to be great. It's going to be, it doesn't feel great right now. I don't feel amazing, but it will be. And I'm going to trust that this next step is where I'm supposed to go, because I've prayed about it. I know that this is where the Lord's leading me. And even on the hard days, that belief of like, am I really, like I was saying earlier, like, Lord, are you sure you have the right person? But it's that belief. And the more we just feed that, no, I'm trusting the Lord. This is what faith looks like. Because I'm also a planner. I love planning things and having a plan and following the steps. And sometimes the Lord is like, I want you to just trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been, I think, the thing that has been the hardest, but also the thing that's grown the most. Because I think as you step out, it's a whole nother level of trust. It's easy to trust when things are certain and you have the plan and you have the people and you have the thing already going. But then also, I'm learning from friends who are in business too, of like, well, once it's going, then you have a whole nother level of, can I keep it going?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, so I'm learning trust and faith that's going to help me later to unlock another level. So that's been the hardest, I think, for me to learn, is just, no, I'm working out my faith
Yeah.
and trusting that the Lord will provide at the right time, which may be different than mine, and that's okay. But just having that trust, and building on that has been hard, because teaching is very certain.
Mm-hmm.
Have a job every day, paycheck every day. Like, it's very planned out. This is opposite of that.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
What you said about every day, because God's timing a lot, and we see it throughout the Bible, except I don't know if we actually pay attention and notice it when we're like in our own life situation, but
Yeah.
how God provides for the day. Like even the manna from heaven was just for the day, and
Yes.
our daily bread. And there's just so many, like Elijah with the widow, they only had enough oil and flour for the
For
day.
that
Like
day.
throughout the Bible, we see that it's only provision for the day, and how
Yeah.
that is not changed for us
Right.
either. It is still the same. I want you to know that you have what you need for today. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's what
Yeah.
you need to focus on. And, praying for the future, praying for this or praying for that, or knowing things are coming up, that's great. That's fine. If the Lord wills, we'll go and do this and that. And that's great. If the Lord wills.
Right.
And he wants us to trust him for every moment. And so that is, I think, whether we always sometimes realize it or not, is a struggle that we have, like, because it comes in, I think, in a lot of different forms,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
when we deal with it, we all deal with it in a little bit of a different way. But yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
So I think I'm ready for us to talk about what it is you do, Katie.
Okay, so I am an energy and connection coach for moms. I like, kind of like what we've been taught, like leading up to this, like, I want to pour life into moms. And I want to help you unlock the vision God has for you outside of motherhood, as amazing as it is. That's one identity. And so I really want to help you unlock what God's created you to do, uniquely you, for impact in this world for Him. And so that's what I do.
So how do you do that? What are some of the things that you have that moms can plug into to help them with this?
Absolutely. So I started with a mindset journal. So I have a morning routine journal. It's designed for busy moms. It's designed to be done in 10 minutes. So it's very short, but it's very impactful. And so over time, I developed the 3-4-5 method, which incorporates faith. It incorporates questions, a little check-in, gratitude, not just like, what am I gratitude like thankful for, but like, what are some moments from the day before
Mhm.
that I'm grateful for? So that you can focus whatever season of life you're in, whether it's a good one or a challenging one, you can find those moments where God's faithful, where you have blessings around you. And it's just a beautiful way to start your day. And then we also do ways you're making progress and taking action, and then vision. What is the Lord asking you to like, calling you to do, and really focusing on that. So the journal's kind of the first thing that I created. And then along with that, I now have a mom community that focuses on the journal, but also other aspects of mindset and perspective shifts, faith-based stuff that just focus differently, where I can pour into moms and the moms can pour into each other as well. And then I also have a 4-week coaching program that I'm going to be launching this fall, or opening up enrollment. I've already launched it, but opening up enrollment for the fall, where we kind of go deep into vision. We go into identity to match the vision. And then we talk about habits that are going to get you to create the vision, and then scheduling in fun, because as moms, we don't schedule in fun, which will bring in that energy piece. And so that's kind of that 4-week coaching program. And I have a podcast as well. So there's a few ways that the moms that are listening, or the women, I honestly think women can benefit from this as well. Even though I do focus on moms, all women are busy. And so those are the ways that they can work with me or get in touch with me.
So the coaching program, when we last talked, was on pause. So I'm really excited that you're launching it again in the fall.
Yes.
And your podcast has launched. Girl, I didn't know
Yes.
you had done that either. This is so exciting.
Yes.
So, what is the name of
Yes.
your show?
So it's called the Mom Connection Podcast. And I launched it in January. So it's like 6 months old, and 6 months new. And it's been really fun. It's once a week. I post a new episode every Monday. And it's been really fun to just kind of share things that I've learned and kind of have an entry, and make impact there. So
That's wonderful.
yeah.
So, what is on the horizon for you? What are some things that you see down the road that maybe you aspire to, or that maybe you feel like God has put on your heart?
So I love to teach, and I spoke at a MOPS group like a year and a half ago. And it's like teaching, but on a bigger scale. And so I know the Lord's given me a message about connection and energy, like how just like God's called us to live life and live it abundantly. And so just for me, that means like I'm just excited about life. That doesn't mean there's not challenges. It just means you maybe navigate challenges differently. And so I feel like the Lord's given me a message with connection, connect now and spark later, or spark next. And so I will be getting into the speaking world here in the next few months, and just really bringing so much, hopefully, like perspective and tools in order to help you really feel connected and alive in the life God has given you in the now.
Oh,
So,
wow. That's exciting. I can't wait to hear more about that when it's ready.
thank
And
you.
we'll definitely be making sure to share that with all of my listeners, and
Yeah,
we'll stay connected on that. Um,
absolutely.
is there anything else that you would like to share? If there was a mom sitting in front of you right now, what would you want to say to her?
I would just, one, look you in the eye and say, you are doing a phenomenal job. And the Lord has given you everything you need to be the best mom you can for your kids. And also, I want to piggyback that with they already think you are the very best mom in the whole wide world. They may not tell you that, they may not show you that, but if I were to ask them without you there, they would brag on you and it would bring you to tears. So just know, like in a good way. So just know that you are exactly who you need to be the best for them.
Wow, that's beautiful. And you made me cry. My
Oh,
goodness.
thank you.
I love it.
It's
Oh,
so
wow.
true.
That was
It is so
wonderful.
thank you.
Katie, thank you so much. I just love your energy. I love you really do exude joy. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And I'm just so thankful that I found you and that we met and we talked and we hit it off and that you're here. I really am going to be watching what God does through you. I can't wait to see how he works and moves and what you're doing. I know it has been and will continue to be very, very powerful.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful to be on here, and I'm really grateful that like the Lord connected us as well. And just it's really nice to have someone else that has the same heart. Like I was like, oh my gosh, we have to connect. We have to talk. Like this is so cool.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me. It's been an honor and a joy, and I'm so grateful. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad. If y'all have any questions for Katie, if you want to reach out to her, you want to connect with her, I will make sure that I will include all of her links to her social media, to her website, everything that you would need to get in touch with her. If you have any prayer requests for me, suggestions for future episodes, if you would like to book me for a prayer Bible workshop or a speaking engagement, you can email me at onecalledmama@gmail.com. Don't forget to check me out on YouTube as well. I'm over there. Thank y'all so much for being here with us today, and we'll be talking to you again very soon. Bye.